Welcome to the Polishing Podcast. We got wiggly eyebrows.
I've had 2 doses of caffeine, so I'm
Really?
awake. My eyebrows are wiggly, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not tired, but I am tired. I don't know. I
don't
only drink
wanna-
1 cup of coffee, so.
I don't want to do anything, but I'm awake.
Yeah, I
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I wanted to just play Monster Hunter all day because this is the only day off I get until Friday.
Yeah.
Wait, Saturday.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to play Witcher all day, and then I realized that, like, I actually have to do work today.
Yeah.
I have to.
I mean, I should vacuum after this, after we record this, but then I don't think I'm going to do anything else again.
I support that.
Yeah.
We don't even have to cook. We have a lot of leftovers.
Yeah, one of them which we have to throw out.
Yeah, we'll clean out the fridge. It'll be okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the Polishing Podcast.
Exciting
we talk about
content here today.
Oh, it's the most exciting content you could ever hear in your earlobes.
Mm-hmm. You don't hear in your earlobes, but that's fine.
No, our listeners are different. Don't judge them.
If you don't hear with your earlobes, get the fuck off the book.
Everybody unsubscribes. It's the worst day ever.
Oh, that would be sad.
Yeah, it would. Anyway, this is the Polishing Podcast. I am the host, one of the hosts, Nicco, otherwise known as Nicco All Powerful on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can find it by just typing in Nicco All Powerful, NICCOALLPOWERFUL. And this is my co-host, other host. I don't know what the real terminology is.
Co-host.
Sure.
Yeah. It's me. I'm Allie.
This is like the 5th garbage truck to go by today.
There's a lot of garbage.
Whatever, big truck that makes that noise.
I'm standing by that it's a lot of garbage. Maybe they're just taking out all of Pittsburgh. Just one truckload at a time.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we suddenly heard one of the 4 buildings that are abandoned go down or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like wouldn't they have to tell us if they were blowing them up? I don't know.
I mean, no,
knocking them down.
They didn't tell us they were knocking down the one.
Yeah, but that's way further away.
I'm probably gonna have to censor that so nobody knows where we're living. With that mental note of 2 minutes, got it.
Dang, we didn't last 3 minutes before you're just handing out identifying information about our home.
My social security number is.
The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets.
I'm not going to go through with that. That's too much work.
Oh, no, that sounds hilarious.
It would be funny because then people would be like, oh, I wonder if I could.
Yeah, fuck with the audio.
No, not fuck with the audio. Look at my lip movements and see if I could sync it out. And then he's like, he didn't say any numbers.
If you need my identity that badly, you can have it, honestly. I'm not doing anything with it.
Yeah. I mean, somebody might be trying to break into my Patreon. I don't know. It told me that there have been too many attempts to log on to it.
Which is very strange. I imagine that's just some sort of glitch.
I have no idea. What am I being emailed about? I don't care. It's something I don't care about. No, I said no. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's been a weird day. Yesterday, okay, well, since it's been a while. I worked yesterday and the day before. We're recording on Monday because it's my only day off until Saturday. Because, I guess part-time was a suggestion.
Right.
the first week of the month.
Yeah.
I don't understand it at all. But Saturday, we had a spotting.
Spotted. Enemy spotted.
Celebrity spotted.
Yep.
Because it wasn't an enemy.
That's true. You should have a bit. Like a logo or something.
I gotta make that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you're going, yeah.
I'm just making suggestions for high quality content, okay? Give the people what they want. And what they want are funny bits with visuals, okay?
I get that. I do. But
you don't have to do it today. You don't have to post the podcast today.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying. I'm not going to have a lot of time to edit this if I don't do it today.
That's true.
Because for whatever, earlier before, for whatever reason, my first week of every month so far has been just jam-packed.
Yep.
With over twice as many hours as the rest of the month, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's very strange.
But anyway, that's why I like the whole little theatrical thing I did with the podcast video version. Patreon, $5. If I still have it. I'll figure that out in 6 hours, apparently.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Or I'll just try to, like, log on my phone or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. But fucking, yeah, I don't know. Like, I work like 30-something hours, and then the rest of the next week, like, since the work schedule start on Monday, I don't even think I get, like, 20-something. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, no complaints, but
because I'd rather have days off. But
there's got to be a reason why the first week of the month you, in particular, work a ton of hours, and then the rest of the month
it doesn't make any sense.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the celebrity spotting.
Ted Danson.
Ted Danson.
Our Whole Foods.
The Ted Danson.
Learning how to floss. Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. The Good Place's very own Ted Danson.
Apparently, was in Cheers.
Yeah. I've never seen that show.
Yeah, I mean, I know of Cheers. I don't think I've ever watched it.
The goal is to get him to come be a guest host.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the goal.
I didn't even say hi or anything. I just saw him in the store.
Well, maybe if he's there a lot, maybe he's filming something nearby.
Oh yeah.
You could be his friend.
Yeah, but
sell him some seafood.
Yeah.
Get him to come over one day.
Saturday night, I was like the pre-closer, and I was doing dishes. And then our closer, I don't think I should use real people's names if I don't have permission. Yeah. Let's call him Bob. It's not his name. I don't know a Bob, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I know a Bob either.
So this is
Bob.
Perfect. George, those kind. But yeah, I don't know a George.
Old white dude names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wilford.
We don't really know any old white dudes, frankly, besides like our fathers.
I've made the point to that.
Yeah.
I've been on record saying I'm ageist on the podcast.
Controversial statement, but I support.
Lukewarm take. I don't like boomers. Also, that's my thing. As far as I know, I started the lukewarm take. I've never seen anyone else say that.
It's hilarious.
It's where you say something that you're like, oh, this is controversial. And then you're like, it's not.
So you mean everything I say?
Yeah. Anytime you're like, oh, I have a hot take, I'm like, it's a lukewarm take at best.
True hot takes. Nowadays, I've lost my edge.
Lukewarm take. Chris Brown's a piece of shit.
Right.
It's like,
Nem's made me soft.
Right. It's not Callie. It's Nem.
Do you see how offended she was?
You touched her butt when
Well,
she was
I would
trying to
dare
sleep.
touch her butt. I'm your mother. I scoop the poop that comes out of your butt.
And she's confused by that.
Right.
We learned recently if you do it too often, they're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, apparently cats don't like when you clean their litter box every day. I just thought I was a bad mom who like didn't do it as frequently as other people did. But apparently like you really shouldn't clean their litter box every single day. Because they get like upset and they're like, wait, am I not supposed to poop there? Like, why are you cleaning it up?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. So that explains why my cats are pretty good at using the litter box, because I don't clean it every day, so they know where they're supposed to poop. They're like, I poop there. Yeah. That's where my poop is. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah, you got to hit a good moderation, though. If you let them poop there too much, they're like, where do I poop? There's too much poop here.
And then they get upset, and then they poop elsewhere. But you've got to find the happy medium. And apparently it's like a broad happy medium. Apparently, like, there's, like a nice spectrum.
Well, yeah.
I mean, then it also depends on how many.
Pretty clear to see.
Yeah, and how many cats you have, too.
Yeah.
Because, like...
You're supposed to have a litter box per cat.
Yeah.
But we don't have that kind of money.
And where would we put another litter box?
I don't know.
Like
on top of this one.
Right. I'm like, I genuinely
we
don't
just start
know,
double decking.
Like bunk bed litter boxes. I don't know. I don't know where we would put another one.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there's only so much space we have.
Yeah. Also, our apartment's not that big. It's gonna start. The natural smell would just be kind of like the Arm and Hammer litter smell.
Right. No matter how much we clean, it'll still just smell like litter.
And not soiled litter, just
litter.
Yeah,
that like
litter.
dusty. Like
yeah. People come in and be like,
right.
Just sneeze.
Lord knows my asthma is already bad enough in this city. So
yeah.
The other day I was walking literally down a sidewalk, just like straight. It wasn't that cold, and I was like,
I mean, the air quality sucks here.
Yeah, and then because I was like, I'm not exerting myself, I'm not carrying anything heavy, I'm not moving quickly, this isn't like on an incline, I don't understand what's happening. Oh, and I like Googled it, and it was like air quality mega terrible, and I was like, oh.
So why do you think my sinus issues persist way past the seasonal changes?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's never gotten to me this bad in Georgia.
Yeah.
And the air quality is not great in Georgia because of how much pollen there is, and I'm allergic to that shit.
It's just. plant sperm just everywhere, trying to get in them lungs.
Anyway, Ted Danson. Before we get too far along here. So Bob, he's like, Nicco, come here. Come look. Ted Danson's in here. I thought he was bullshitting me because, I mean, all I could see was the back of some old white dude's head. It's like, okay, I mean, how many old white dudes are blessed with a full head of hair? Probably not that many, but enough that I'm not just going to say it's Ted Danson. But then he turned a little bit and I saw his chin and I was like, that's fucking Ted Danson.
That's fucking Ted Danson.
I was like, holy shit, you're right. I thought, because I swear to God, like, I mean, I don't think he was being malicious if he was like messing with me. It's just like, you know, fun thing. Even though we don't know each other that well because I haven't been working there even a whole month. But, you know,
seems like it's good vibes generally.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, nobody doesn't get along.
Yeah,
and
that's
on
good.
The seafood team. There's only 7 of us, so like, if we didn't get along, it'd be kind of tough.
Right, it'd be very obvious what's happening.
And then, so I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, because this is the second celebrity I've ever seen in real life, just in general. The first was the guy who played Bill Compton when we were visiting L.A.
What the fuck is his name?
I don't remember. You'd have to just Google Bill Compton and True Blood, because that's the easiest thing. He was at a diner that is now closed. But apparently a lot of celebrities went there, and I'm still sad that diner closed. But
it was a good diner.
Yeah, it was nice.
Stephen Moyer.
Yeah, there it is. Also, I think one of the reasons it closes, there's just way too many. Like, it had like 1,000 things on the menu.
Yep.
That's a terrible
But that's what a diner is supposed to be. A diner is supposed to be anything you can possibly think of.
Yeah, but think of how much money it costs to stock all of that.
And it was never full. Anytime we went in there, it was never busy.
Well,
Even though the food was decent.
We went at weird times too, though.
That's true. We tend not to go like during busy times.
Yeah, because we were on vacation.
Yeah, so we were like, whatever, it's 3. I want my dinner.
Well, I mean, we never went there for dinner. We just went for breakfast.
Oh yeah, that's true. But we slept in because it's vacation.
Slept in 3 hours.
Right.
On like. Oh, we slept in. It's noon. 9 a.m.
That's the funniest thing about like visiting friends on the West Coast is I'm like, oh, I slept in. Wow, I got so many hours. I can't wait. Like, I'm going to go get brunch with my friends who also slept in. And they're like, why the fuck are you awake? It's fucking 9 a.m. And but to my body, it feels like noon because we're on the East Coast. And I'm like, ready to go. I haven't slept till noon in like a minute. When I do, it's like only ever because I don't feel well. Yeah. So if I just feel fine and I sleep until noon, I'm like, all right, like, let's go.
God, my shoulder blade itches right now.
And,
I can't do anything about it because this isn't doing jack shit. But anyway, so Ted Danson. And then I was like, okay, just to make sure, isn't Ted Danson? And I thought he, like, went away to, like, either check out or shop elsewhere in the store. Yeah. But he came back. He was grabbing flowers, which are nearby the front door. Because Valentine's Day is coming up. Treat your loved ones. That's next week, actually. So, I get Valentine's Day off.
Nice.
Well, you knew that.
I know. But it's nice to be reminded that I get to spend Valentine's Day with you. And it's a Friday, so I don't have to be anywhere.
No, that's true.
We can literally spend all day together.
Right.
I mean, we probably won't because we need your alone time. But we could theoretically spend every second of Valentine's Day together.
We don't even spend every second of Christmas together.
Right.
And we make a point to watch a bunch of movies that day.
It's true. And then we're both like, okay, I would like to not see you for a minute.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But so I was looking, and then he grabbed flowers, turned around, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely Ted Danson. Like, this isn't a false sighting.
# definitely Ted Danson.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was wondering what was going on there.
# definitely Ted Danson.
Yeah. Because, like,
get it trending.
You know, sometimes you see people who kind of look like celebrities, or you have situations where Hannibal Buress just sends a dude to a red carpet premiere.
Genuinely one of the funniest things
with sunglasses on, and people just think it's him.
Some random black dude.
Yeah.
And he literally put up an.
Didn't the guy like say just DM him and be like, "Hey, I'll go to the red carpet thing for you"? He's like, "Okay, here's $200."
Yeah.
And then he just
went, and people were just like, "Oh, who are you?" He was like, "I'm Hannibal Buress."
No, they thought he was Hannibal Buress. It wasn't like, "Oh, hey, who are you?"
That's embarrassing.
Also, that's a huge security risk.
Oh yeah, some random dude just walked up in that place,
and everybody just thought he was Hannibal Buress.
He obviously belongs here. he looks like this other dude that he actually looks nothing like.
Right?
He has one thing in common with that guy.
Color of his skin, and he had sunglasses on. That's it.
Period.
So you're telling me that if that guy had any malintentions,
yeah,
he could have just murdered a bunch of celebrities, and no one would have been the wiser.
Honestly, if I were a person of color and I lived in LA, I would just try to get into events and say I was other celebrities of color. Because
I mean,
they don't fucking know, obviously.
I'm young Lawrence Fishburne. Can't you tell?
Right. And then just be like, oh, of course.
Sorry,
just
Mr.
let you
Fishburne.
in, and then you'd get all the fancy shit. Be like, oh, sorry, I thought you weren't coming. You're like, no, I'm here.
I just love the idea of somebody showing up and saying, I'm young Lawrence Fishburne.
Or really, I guess any of us, people of color or not, could just walk in and be like, I'm Scarlett Johansson.
It's true. You could dress up as a tree and show up and say, I'm your Scarlett Johansson.
I'm Scarlett Johansson.
I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Johansson. Go ahead. But so Ted Danson was there. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, apparently he was at the Whole Foods again on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see him that time, but we heard that he was. And then when bringing this up to George, another one of my coworkers that's not his name.
Hashtag definitely not George.
Definitely not George. He was saying how Kristen Stewart was there a couple weeks ago.
And you're like, wait, my one true wife?
That's not true at all. I don't know why you do that. But
I mean, she's objectively hot.
Well, yeah, but that's not the problem.
She's your real wife.
That doesn't make sense. Anyway, but his roommate was bagging groceries and looked up and he's like, no fucking way. He just was like, no fucking way that's Kristen Stewart. And it was. Which is, it's funny that Bob was saying that he's keeping the names in check is tough. But he was saying that he met Seth Rogen there. Yep. And is served him. And then as he was turning the corner out of the seafood area, he almost physically ran into Willem Dafoe. And it's
imagine you physically running into
you're going on break and you almost bump into Willem Dafoe.
Just casually.
And his giant dong.
Yeah. You should probably explain that. Otherwise, unless you just want to leave that with no context.
I mean, there was a
Why do we inevitably end up talking about big dicks on this podcast?
I don't know if it's inevitable.
I think there's something Freudian going on. I don't know what's happening.
My back itches. That's what.
The last few podcast episodes.
Can you scratch my back?
Yes. This is marriage.
No. There we go. Wait, a little up. Oh, God. That has been bothering me for the entire time we've been recording.
I should make you pay for me to get my nails done so that I can scratch your back on.
You got those done for free. Get out of
here. But the next time I get them done, it won't be free.
Are they still going to be a super reduced price?
No. I pay regular price if I'm not a model.
Well, then.
Pro tip, y'all. If you know of a nail salon near you, especially if they have people who are being trained, then a lot of local salons will ask for models to come in and just go and get their nails done with new nail techs or nail techs who are learning new techniques. And your service is either free or almost free. Mm-hmm. And it's cool because you get to hype up a nail tech who's building up their business. So I just post it all over Snapchat and Instagram. Mm-hmm. And also you get your nails done for the price of a tip.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So there's a nail salon near us that does this frequently. And there's one nail tech in particular who I really like to go to. And so I got my nails done for free. Mm-hmm. Well, I had to pay to get the other nails I had soaked off. And then I gave her a tip.
Yeah.
But that was half of what it would have cost to get it done, which is awesome. So
Willem Dafoe's dong.
So Willem Dafoe's big dick.
It's just a news story that went around when The Lighthouse was coming out, mm-hmm. Which is a movie with Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, mm-hmm. or Robert Battinson, or Arbats.
Arbats.
Depending on
what
you want to call him, since he's the new Batman.
Yeah, I mean there was Batfleck. Yeah. Now there's Arbats.
Yeah. But the director, because apparently there's a scene where Willem Dafoe's naked and they had to use a fake penis because the director is quoted as saying there's no way anyone would believe that Willem Dafoe's penis is that big, which is wild.
And how big could it be that no one would believe it? Like,
I mean,
that's
I just
the
feel
question that I have.
I just
like,
have a
where
feeling.
I want to go up to the director and be like, say when.
Just
say
like
when.
that scene.
Just like the scene from New Girl.
Are you serious?
Are you serious? No, you're.
We're gonna start over.
And then yeah, that's like what. So I'm be like, come on, because
That's
if
so
it's
funny.
anywhere in the conceivable imagination of average, right?
Oh, it's got to be above average, though.
right. Then like they would never even mention that,
Yeah.
and they would have just used it. So like it's got to be
He's got to have a Subway footlong in his pants.
right, or maybe bigger than a Subway footlong.
Well, to be fair, a Subway footlong's only 10 inches, so that makes sense.
Right. So it's got to be, I don't know, and especially.
If you didn't know that, Subway is shorting you 2 inches on subs.
Yep.
Because they, much like
Obviously.
many men.
I was gonna say,
can't
obviously,
measure.
a man owns Subway because
That's 12 inches, right?
they're like, that's about a foot, and it's like, no, your
It's like-
ability to measure things using just your eyes, it sucks.
Well, they didn't do it with their eyes. They went, we're going to say it's a foot long.
Right.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten in trouble. Well, I think there was a whole story about it. I don't know if they got in trouble, though.
Anyway,
But yeah.
because it's just got to be an absolute monster.
I mean, it's just because, I mean, I've heard
He
the
is
movie.
very small, too.
Yeah. And
physically, he's not that big.
Yeah, and he's skinny. And the
Yeah.
movie has a lot of parts where you're like, is this really happening? Like, you're not sure if it's reality. So they're just like, there's no way that's his dick. Like, that's the one thing where the audience is like, oh, this isn't real.
This is where my suspension of disbelief ends. Is at his giant penis.
His massive dong.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, his magnum dong.
Yeah.
If that quote from Always Sunny.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I dropped my massive condom for my magnum dong.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's funny, though.
I mean, I respect that. It's odd to me, though, because it's not like penis size is in any way actually proportionate
Yeah.
to anything. Like, it's just like, whoops, genetics.
Yeah, it really
Like, it
doesn't
is
make any
not-
sense. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've heard of some people claiming that either they gained or lost weight and their penis size changed. But I just, don't really buy that because I haven't actually seen any real research. But
if that has anything to do with any of the fat or skin around the pelvis region.
right. So I imagine, like, if you just gain weight around your penis and it might make your penis look smaller, but the
Yeah.
actual organ itself is still the same size.
Yeah, because I mean, I imagine gaining any muscle or like slimming out or something would make your penis appear to be bigger, just because it's not like, I mean, that's just kind of how that works.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that can't be that significant from the average person.
I mean, if we're talking inches, if you lose like weight and half an inch suddenly
I guess if you
appears,
lose half an inch out of your waist.
yeah, then it's like, oh wow, my dick looks bigger. Like,
It's funny though you say half an inch because half an inch just wouldn't look.
Oh yeah, I
much
know.
bigger.
But like in the in context of 4.5 inches or 5 inches,
Right, I guess.
a man's ego is boosted way more.
Is it?
I
don't know.
mean,
I never worry about the length of my genitalia, so.
well, yours has negative length, so that makes sense.
It's got negative length.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Glad you think so.
But yeah. Gosh, how am I yawning?
I have no idea. I haven't yawned, and I'm the one on 1 cup of coffee.
And I'm suddenly sleepy.
What?
I don't know. But here we are.
I can't believe this. You've done this.
I know.
We're talking about Ted Danson and dongs.
And I'm like falling asleep. I mean, I love Ted Danson.
It's too late now.
I did tell my friends yesterday that you saw Ted Danson. And
What were they like?
They were like, oh.
Well, they could just come hang out at the Whole Foods. Apparently, like a lot of celebrities run through.
It makes sense. It's like the only
I mean, it's the only one in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah. There's
Which-
not another one for a very, very long.
Yeah, because I think the other, there's another one in the North Hills and some other places.
Yeah. Well, it's
But-
because they're usually big stores, and
Yeah.
one of Pittsburgh's things is like it's an old city, so most like big lots of space already have something in them.
Yeah.
And you can't usually just build a brand new. I mean, it's one reason why there's no Walmart in the city, because like we would have to drive like over an hour to get to the nearest Walmart
Yeah.
because they just need this massive space. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
glad we don't have a Walmart here because they're terrible, but also
Oh, yeah.
it's like, when you need to build these like big stores, you just can't do that in a city where there's just no lots.
Well, you say that, but they'll knock down a shit ton of buildings for no reason.
Well, yeah, but stuff like that takes forever.
Yeah, but I mean, that Target's there.
That's true. I wonder how long it was to build that.
I don't know.
Though Pittsburgh will, like most cities, just be like, oh, we'll just knock down some subsidized housing.
Yeah.
So
that lot in front of Target's still just a lot, too. Yep. And that had a mural on it.
They were like, oh, we're just going to knock down this building that has this incredible mural that's really emblematic of our neighborhood.
And then not do anything with it.
Yep.
Also,
developers be like that.
Unfortunately, everybody knows where I work now. Which is fine. I have knives, so like, and they're always sharp. That's true. You're going to try to come mug me in the store.
First of all,
I'm armed.
If you walk into a Whole Foods and the people you mug are the people who work there, you're
fucked up.
You're a dumbass.
We just said celebrities show up there.
And you're like, nah, guy behind the seafood counter, give me your debit card. And you'd be like, it's not going to get you far, but okay, here you go.
I don't have it on me. Right? I don't bring my wallet with
true.
me.
You really don't bring your wallet unless you actually like have something to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's just pure silliness.
Really, and also there's a security guard.
Any given person, any given customer in that store has more money on them than the people who work there. Like that's just like a fact.
It's a Whole Foods.
Right. That's just a fact about Whole Foods. Yeah. So
same thing you could probably say about, I don't know, fucking Target.
That's true.
Though I will say we never had a celebrity spotting at Target. I worked there for 2 years. I've been at Whole Foods for less than a month, and I've seen Ted Danson.
That's crazy.
That's right. Right?
That's crazy.
I bet it's like celebrities are like, you know what? I'll go to Whole Foods myself. I'm going to send my personal shopper or assistant to Target.
Yep, that's probably what it is.
Though, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be like, we were talking about it at like all of us in seafood, and it's like, yeah, they probably have personal shoppers. Though I thought about it, I was like, Kristen Stewart has a movie called Personal Shopper.
Does she?
Yeah. Apparently, it's a weird movie, but she's really good in it.
I mean,
it's like an indie movie.
I was gonna say, isn't that like mostly the definition of her career, like post Twilight? It's like, oh, that was weird, but she's good in it.
Well, yeah. Well, she's got enough money that she doesn't need to do any other like big budget movies.
True. I mean, she was in Charlie's Angels, but that flopped real bad.
Well,
there were a bunch of angry men on Twitter saying that Birds of Prey is gonna flop too because the lead actresses aren't hot. And I'm like,
do you have eyes?
I'm like, so just say that you're stupid. Yeah. Like, leave.
They're like, oh, they took all the sexualization out of the women. It's like, did you look at them?
Right. I'm like, first of all.
Because just because they're not like in push-up bras doesn't mean they're not hot.
Right. Harley Quinn looks certifiably insane. And I would let her ruin me. She looks so hot.
Yeah.
She looks nuts, which appeals to her character. Like, I like the idea that she's like nuts and hot.
Yeah.
At the same time. And the other women look mostly very dangerous and hot.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
I mean, she's been hot forever.
Right. True. But she's looking great. And that, I'm like, you're just a ding dong.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Just a ding dong. I don't need to see butt cheek. I mean, I appreciate butt cheek. I'm not knocking.
Doesn't appreciate some cheek.
I'm not knocking the booties. But it's also possible to be hot in other things. Like, I just don't like it's very strange. And I'm like, Charlie's Angels didn't.
You shouldn't have been able to turn that easily.
Oh.
That has me concerned. Because that's a very wonky setup that I haven't fixed yet. If you guys can't see this because, I mean, it's beneath the frame even before we cut off part of the frame. She was asleep and you scared her.
I'm sorry.
She's like, no, you scared me. No more pets.
I'm sorry, Bubba.
You've wronged her.
I'm sorry. She got her claws on me and everything.
Yeah, she's upset.
She's not gonna let me go.
I mean, just Bubba, let her go. Yeah, she's gonna nibble you.
She nipped me. She's so mad. I'm sorry.
She's not gonna.
I'm sorry.
You gotta just leave her be for a little bit.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were fast asleep. I thought our talking was keeping you up.
No, she falls asleep when we're talking.
That cat tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
She tried to kill me.
I think depending on how much I cut off, maybe people won't see it. I don't know. I don't think I do it that much.
You still mad at me?
It doesn't take her long to get over it. But so I ordered a clamp for Allie's mic set up. I've talked about this because there you go. She forgives.
Man, she's so cute.
Thank
you for forgiving.
But it's not the right size. But I wasn't going to order a new one, and we weren't going to do this whole spiel again. So I just hammered the mic stand into the clamp. Like, I just took a hammer to it.
It's not what you should do, but it's fine.
No, but I was like,
but it works.
Yeah. Then you were, was it your wrist that was hurting? Something was hurting, and I was like, well, I don't want her to hold it again. You were like,
it was my shoulder.
Yeah, your shoulder was hurting.
It was being twingy.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to order another one where that thing actually fits into. So I guess I need to make sure. How am I supposed to? We don't have do we have a thing where I could measure the diameter of that? You have sewing stuff. Do we not have a thing?
I mean, we have yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Well, then I need to do that to make sure the next one I order has the right hole. A. Lamau.
A Lamau.
Throwing it back for an alien. Memes. But Allie moved the mic very easily, and it should not have moved. So concerning.
But if you order it now, you'll have it and be able to fix it before next week.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna look and do that whole spiel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently I could run into some celebrities at the Whole Foods I work in.
So keep listening for more exciting celebrity spotting.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's got to be a bit. Celebrity spotted. It's going to be a thing.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's worth it. You put in the time now, and then you can just put it in whenever you want to. You just keep the...
I get that, but I still got to do it.
I know. But it'd be hilarious. I'm allowed editorial comments every once in a while.
Well, yeah, you are. No one ever said you weren't. Just doesn't mean I have to do anything.
That's true. You don't have to. It's your creative endeavor. I'm just here to support.
Yeah. But so that happened, and then the Sunday in general was just wild. My phone wasn't working for part of the day. It literally just said iPhone is disabled, try again, and then listed a time. That was weird.
That's very weird.
The power went out for like 5 minutes. And then it came back on because they have a backup generator. But a lady came in and she was like, oh, yeah, I want some shrimp. And I'm like, oh, do you want some ice? And she's like, no, I don't think so. And then she was like, well, no, I mean, I'm not going to get any, but we don't have power back at home and haven't for like 3 hours. So I hope the power comes back on soon. I'm like, why wouldn't you just take the fucking ice then? We give out bags of ice like candy. It doesn't matter to us. We don't charge for the ice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you come up to seafood or meat or whatever and like, can I have a bag of ice? We just give out these little bags of shaved ice. Like, they're those little grocery bags you put like fruit and stuff in. But yeah, we don't want the meat that we give you to spoil before you get home.
That's great. I've literally never heard of a place doing that.
Well, yeah, we don't slap a sticker or anything on it. So, but anyway,
it was an exciting day for you.
Yeah, that happened.
I was just at a Super Bowl party.
We're
all very disappointed that the 49ers lost, but it's okay.
I mean, I have no...
I don't know. My friends were rooting for the 49ers, so I was
rooting
for the 49ers. Because Nick is from California.
Oh, I guess that's... But is he from San Francisco?
He's from Fresno.
I don't know where Fresno is.
It's not far from San Francisco.
Okay.
And Fresno doesn't have a professional football team, so...
Does L.A.?
No.
No, it's just the 49ers. Okay, I don't know football teams past like the Falcons.
I don't think LA has a football team.
Okay, that's fine. I just couldn't remember. Because I know, isn't there? What is it? Boston has 2 baseball teams.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
No,
so there's a city that has 2 baseball teams. I know that much for sure.
Wait, isn't that Chicago?
Is it Chicago?
Yeah. I don't know. Fuck it. I shouldn't even. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know New York has 2 baseball teams.
Because there's the Yankees and
the Mets.
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe it is New York I'm thinking of. I might be thinking of the Red Sox and the White Sox, but I don't know that
those are 2 different cities, I think.
Yeah, I think that's where I was getting confused.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know sports.
We don't know sports and we don't care who knows.
Tennis?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about no tennis.
Yeah, really
other than Serena just whips everyone's ass and that's it.
It's just like better than pretty much everybody.
Yeah. So there you go.
I saw some article that was like,
Doesn't have a segment called sports? It's a question.
And we just like guess about sports.
We just
And I like work in athletics, and I just like don't know anything.
You
about
don't know
sports.
anything, yeah.
I'm like, sports.
So what did you guys do? Did you get it in the
Did you make
goalpost?
point happen?
Did you make point happen?
Did you stop other point team happen?
Then your students are like, what?
They're like, please just stick to what you're good at, which is clearly not this.
He's like, it's like I'm a swimmer. It's like I swim. No points happened.
I'd be like, did you swim fast, good, quickly?
And then he's
Were
like,
you a rapid swimmer?
and then he's like, I play football. It's a different kid.
I'm a diver. I don't go quickly. Speed is not relevant. I'd be like, oh,
We've all fall at the same rate. It's physics, baby.
physics, BB.
But yeah, it was eventful.
It was eventful.
And then there's the Super Bowl, or as Gene would say, the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Which don't do that.
The halftime show was a little wild.
I've heard so many things.
It was, I mean, well, first of all, J-Lo, while a very talented dancer, is in no way like a good singer.
Mm-hmm.
We all decided
Lukewarm take.
Right, lukewarm. I mean, I don't think that is a hot take. I think that is just.
That's why I called it a lukewarm take.
But I wasn't even trying for a hot take. Does it count if I'm not trying
Yes.
for a hot take? Oh, okay. I just didn't
It's
know the rules of a
take.
lukewarm take.
If it's a take,
so
then
J-Lo, and I mean, she's been performing in Vegas. She lip syncs. Like, she doesn't sing live.
Did Shakira lip sync? I saw some people talking about Shakira lip syncing
I
too.
don't think so. She was doing a lot of ad-libbing.
Also,
That
Shakira's wanted for tax evasion, so.
Well, she's not wanted. She was found guilty of tax fraud and has to pay. She probably used some of her paycheck from the Super Bowl to do that. But what was crazy, so there were a couple of things. Apparently, they first approached Rihanna, who said she would not perform because of the whole like boycotting NFL, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. Also, the
The NFL is super racist.
Playing.
Rihanna is not out here
I was gonna say,
playing music because
she hasn't made music since before we left to come to Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Because
She swears her album is.
Nice.
She swears her next album is coming out this year.
quality content for the podcast.
Where's the music, Rihanna? Where's the
Elsewhere.
Anyway, so they asked Rihanna and she was like, no. And then they asked Cardi B and she was like, no. And so I guess they got Shakira and J-Lo because one of them wasn't good enough to like
I don't know.
carry the whole show. I don't know. So
I mean, to be fair, if you were to tell me, it's like, oh, J-Lo's performing. I'm like, okay.
like, what year is this?
Shakira's performing. Okay.
Again, what year
Shakira
is
and J-Lo are performing. It's still an okay.
I'm like, I mean, they're
That's
both
a lot of booty, so
right.
that's
They're both
nice.
super hot, which is cool. But like,
Who doesn't love booty?
right? I
I mean, I
appreciate
guess the
booty.
people that like boobies, but still.
But you know, por qué no los dos is how I feel. Why
Well, yeah.
don't we want both really?
Some people have preferences.
That's true. They're incorrect, but that's allowed. It's okay to be wrong. But yeah, it was just strange. I mean, it was like good in the sense that they're both really great performers.
Yeah.
But it was just weird, and like there was a point where they used,
What?
there's a. So
What?
on Cardi B's, I'm just trying to play footsie.
I thought you were just resting your feet on my feet. I was like, what the hell kind of rude?
So anyway, on Cardi B's big song of the last year, I Like It. Excuse me. They use a sample from an old Spanish song. Is it Spanish? Might be like Afro-Caribbean. Anyway, it's like it's an older, it's like a classic Spanish language song. It's the one that's like, yeah, baby, I like it like that.
Yeah.
That one. Okay, so
Content ID.
they like started playing that, and I was like, is Cardi B gonna perform? And then I was like, Cardi B would not perform. So, because first of all, they would have been marketing that Cardi B was performing for the entire game. Second of all,
I think Cardi B performed at the AVN Awards last year.
I don't know what AVN Awards are.
Adult video something.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
She just
I know
does like the
Doja Cat
NFL.
performed this year.
I love Doja Cat.
Yeah.
I love Doja Cat. Anyway, maybe you'll see her in Whole Foods one time. You should learn what she looks like so that if you find her, you can be like, hi.
I mean, I know what she looks
Here's
like.
her phone number. Call her.
If I got to meet Ted Danson, I'd be like, my wife loves You in the Good Place. She loves that show. It means a lot to her.
It's a great show. Anyway.
But yeah.
So I was like, is Cardi B about to perform? And then I was like, wait, is J-Lo about to sing a Cardi B song?
Is that what happened?
I know, but then
they just played that.
They like
sample?
played that bit, and then she did like a dance thing, and then Bad Bunny, who's on I Like It, came out.
Who's Bad Bunny?
He's a rapper.
Oh, okay.
And he's on I Like It. So I was like, were they just planning for this to be Cardi B?
But they got too far, and then she said no, and then they were like, shit, what do we do?
We'll just give J-Lo a dance break. Like, we'll just give J-Lo like an 8 count of like dance moves. And like that's what happened. And then Bad Bunny comes out, he does his rap from I Like It, and then they transition to some J-Lo song.
Is that allowed?
I don't know, dude. That was really weird. We were all like, what
strange.
the fuck is happening?
You think maybe Cardi B said yes at one point and then waited their options?
Maybe.
And it was too far along, and they were like, well,
or at
least
least they had some of it worked out. And
yeah,
like,
and
who can we slot in easily? J-Lo.
And we were like, fuck, we can't. We already got Bad Bunny.
Can't get Katy Perry to do this part. Like, yeah, they got Bad Bunny signed, and
so we can't tell him no. I mean, we paid him already.
But that's the problem, right? Is like the NFL is so racist that while they want like black performers who put butts in seats, who get views, who make a lot of money to perform there, like they won't do it. Well,
yeah, because I mean, the funny thing is people are finding out very quickly that all of these things are still just corporations that want to generate money, because people were surprised when what is basketball, NBA, was not standing behind like who said some remarks about China and free speech and stuff,
that was
and they were like,
coaches.
yeah, and they were like, oh, we don't,
and then they had like a whole like media blackout where they weren't letting any of the players or the coaches talk about what was going on,
and people were like, what's going on? Blah, 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 you're just blah, blah, blah.
It was like, the protests in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean, people were just like, people were like, I don't understand why do they care. It's like they care because there's a billion people in China.
Yep.
You have any idea how much money they stand to make if they like? There's a reason why people keep doing stuff like that, and it's because capitalism goes, we want you to grow exponentially every year, no matter what,
forever.
And the only way for any corporation to continue to do that is to appeal to as many things as possible, even if that means sacrificing its own integrity to do so. And it's very clear that's what they're doing. And it's just like, well, either you're okay with that and you'll continue to watch this like whatever, basketball, football, whatever, or you're not, and then you don't, or you sail the open seas, which we don't condone, but that's an option if you don't want to support financially what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the trouble. I mean, I haven't kept up with football. I mean, I'm not a football fan necessarily, though I do like watching games. It's like a fun sport to watch. So, and now I work with college athletes, so keeping up with sports actually helps me at my job because I A, know what they're talking about, and B, have like things to talk with them about because their whole life, I mean, sports for them is at minimum a full-time job, if not like a full-time job plus overtime plus like all of their free time. So, it's like, it's cool that I could know more, but I just haven't watched an NFL game since they got rid of Colin Kaepernick, and it was so funny. I saw a tweet that was like, it's so weird how they're like not showing any footage from the last time that the 49ers played in the Super Bowl because Cap was the quarterback and they won't play footage of him at all. It's just wild. It's absolutely wild. And they do literally everything they can to undercut anyone who speaks up. And it's like, you can't do that. And then on the one hand, right, like penalize black players for doing things like having integrity or basic like intelligence and knowledge of the world around them. They're just like, hey, maybe like we shouldn't be murdered. Like, it's not like Colin Kaepernick even wanted to overthrow capitalism, which is way more threatening to the NFL's position as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, maybe black people shouldn't just be murdered because they exist.
Right. He's really not asking for a lot.
No.
And he was incredibly respectful. Like, there was no way that he even was taking money away from the NFL by doing that.
He was just kneeling
during the anthem, which they didn't even start playing the anthem at games before 9/11.
Yeah.
So also, it's like, this isn't even like some sort of sanctified age-old practice. Like, this is a less than 20-year-old practice.
Yeah. Plus,
because they get money from the Department of Defense.
He's unpatriotic, da-da-da. It's like, we're allowed to, you can do whatever you want.
Patriotism doesn't mean never criticizing.
Yeah, there's a weird
that's just
segment of
that's
people
fetishizing.
Yeah, there's like a weird segment of people who think if you criticize your country, you're not a patriot. But especially in America, we were founded by rebellion. Like, we literally went, hey, we don't like you leaders that are telling us what to do. We want to do our own thing.
We want our taxes to go to the white supremacist goals that we have, not your white supremacist goals.
Well, I mean, they didn't think that at the time because everyone was white.
Well, I mean, aside from the people that they owned.
Well, yeah.
Everyone was white.
The Pilgrims were white. The colonists were white.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Right. But
they don't hide that in the books.
Not everyone back then was a white supremacist.
Well, yeah.
It was just like our founding fathers were like, I don't like the way that they are doing white supremacy. We should do white supremacy slightly differently.
Yeah. Like, I don't like how you say tea anymore. I grew up here.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just very odd. And I also don't think that patriotism is like something to brag about. I think it's very strange that people are just like, I don't know. I was born in this place arbitrarily.
It's a weird thing with pride in your one city and stuff too that I don't get. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I missed out on it because I grew up in suburbia.
Yeah. So like, what pride of place?
It's like, oh yeah, Lawrenceville, Georgia was real big. I don't fucking know.
There sure were retail stores.
Yeah, there's
like, I don't know. There definitely were chain restaurants there. Like,
I could go to Orion's wherever I wanted.
And like, it's also it feels very strange to me because like borders are arbitrary. Yeah. Like I get this feeling, and I think it's tied a lot to the way that we teach history in our country and in our schools, which is that like it's like this inevitable march toward what we have now, which is supposed to be the really good stuff. Mm-hmm. And like I was reading on Twitter, these people were talking about, oh, like capitalism lifted us out of feudalism, and you know, people used to just toil away, blah blah blah, had no like recreational time, and now we have recreational time. And someone who like is a historian was like, actually what we know about people in like feudal times is that they actually had quite a lot of recreational time. Yeah. Because they were doing things like planting crops.
Which you can only do
for so long.
Until it's like, everything's planted. All right.
Well, and then you just like make sure that no weeds grow. So you just go out and check them like once a week. Yeah. And you just like make sure that you water them, I guess.
Yeah, because I feel like people think it's like, oh, tending to crops was a everyday thing. It's like, no, you can't.
Right.
There's no.
What is there to tend?
Yeah, it's like
if you tend all that much, you're just gonna kill the crops.
Like, you can't go out there and fucking scrape at the dirt that many times.
And like, was it difficult to like plow a fucking field? Yeah, like that was not super fun.
But you only had to do it once.
You only did it the one time a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you just like waited. And like, there were lots of things that were harder, and there were like diseases we couldn't
treat. Famous.
Right. Like there's like all sorts of other things that were not so great about it.
That's people who had to take care of all the poop.
Yeah.
For those that don't know.
That's pretty rough. That's not a great job. But
they got paid real well.
Yeah, because
mostly because they probably died with the end of the week.
Yeah, they probably died like every 2 months. So yeah, I mean, it's like we just have this conception that we're living in the best timeline, right? That we're at the peak of civilization.
Well, millennials know this is the worst timeline.
Right, but I feel like a lot of folks. I mean, and because not all millennials are of that persuasion. A lot of them
Damn you, Hadron Collider.
What I think of is like a more conservative belief that like tradition has gotten us here, and that means tradition is good because here is good for me, or at least it's better than what I've been taught to believe came before me, and that is a really hard position because it's not great everywhere. Yeah. And B, there were places and times when it was better for certain folks or better for a lot of folks. Yeah. Or none of that has anything to do with whether we can make now better. I'm like, I don't understand why there's a resistance to just like, how about
making things better for the now? Yeah.
How about we just like do better? Like, okay, so you really like America. Well, what if America was even better? Then you could really, really like America.
It's like, no.
Right? Like, what if
I like it this way.
What if we just like weren't having any human rights violations? What if we were actually the moral center of the world? Like, what if we actually had the integrity to practice what we preach? Like, wouldn't that be awesome? Like, I don't understand why we can't just like be that way.
And then they're like, no.
Well, and that's, I think,
I can't hear you. La la la.
Well, and I think
like that's just like, what the fuck?
Part of the success, to get, I guess, more specifically political, part of the success of Bernie canvassers has been addressing people like that. Like, you know what? Like, we don't have to spit on everything this country has ever done in order to say things can be better. And I don't have to say like, oh, well, you don't already agree with me, then you're a dumbass. Which is the mentality of, I feel like, a lot of people on the sort of like center left as opposed to the left, because the left understands things like class solidarity and is like, you know what? Like you have been fucked over by incredibly wealthy people. And to act like that's not happening and that that's not at the root of most of your problems is absurd.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, we get kind of, I don't think indoctrinated is the right word, but like growing up either middle or lower middle class, or even just, you know, lower class. Wait, what is it called? It's not lower class, is it?
No, like lower income.
Yeah, but because there's middle class, upper class. Is it just lower?
Lower, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know why, but in my head that didn't sound right. But, you know, you grow up like that way and like you're fed this myth that you could become rich one day. And it's like,
Right.
How many people just become rich one day?
Statistically, very, very few.
It's like if the 1% are the richest in the world, then it's a percentage of 1% become rich.
Right.
And that's...
Like, statistically, most people are not actually economically mobile.
Yeah. Like, it's... I mean,
and it comes down in a lot of ways to generational wealth.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the ability... Like, you're able to make more money if you're able to, for example, invest more money.
Yeah.
But you have to have money to invest or have
Yeah.
access to loans and therefore have credit.
Yeah.
You know, like, I couldn't go up to a bank and be like, I would like $1 million. They'd be like, L-O fucking L? Like,
you owe colleges $100,000. Why would we give you $1 million?
Right. Why would we give you $5, let alone $1 million?
Look at that leg.
Oh, man, that leg is fancy.
I hope it doesn't get cut off.
Because that's a good leg.
In the video.
In the video, not in real life.
Yeah.
But,
well, I mean, I hope it doesn't in real life either.
But a lot of the people I know who've been canvassing for Bernie are like, no, like, we actually want to build solidarity with people, not mock them or tear them down or purposely misunderstand their beliefs. I think it's okay to say, well, what do you like about your community? And what is happening in your community that doesn't seem to serve the members therein? And it
Don't you hate that trash in your front yard that people throw in it?
Right. It's like, well, you know,
wouldn't
like,
it be better if people didn't throw shit into your front yard?
Right. And like, there are, like, some people will react to that, right, with like prejudice. They'll be like, oh, it's the youths or the people of color or the poors or all of them.
And then
right?
his best friend Dave, who's also 40, comes over and
Just
throws a bottle.
Chucks the thing. Yeah.
He's like,
And
Dave,
that's
what
the problem.
the fuck?
Is that like a belief that there is some sort of perfect America absent of
the other,
yeah. Right? Is a myth that you can break down by saying, well, okay, but what if we also like increase the frequency of trash pickup in this neighborhood? And then all of a sudden, or we're like, oh, what if we just had the city put a trash can in front of your home, like by this light post, so that people would just throw it in there. And then suddenly, like, there's no trash in your yard.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like amazing and fine. And you're like, oh, well, it could just be that like my government and my community can do more for me.
Yeah. And
that I don't actually have to hate my neighbors because my neighbors are not the problem.
Yeah.
Like, they're being different than me in some way, if they are even different, because some people hate people who are in their same group.
Oh, yeah.
But like, there's no reason why should.
I'm white. I hate old people. They're white. I still hate them.
A lot of them are white.
Yeah.
And we don't always see eye to eye. But there's ways to still
In fact,
build solidarity.
Most of the times I don't.
I mean, and that's like some of the sort of backlash over the Joe Rogan thing, like, was very frustrating for me to watch, because not that I like Joe Rogan at all. Like, I mean, I just think he's just kind of a ding dong, and B,
I mean, he's inquisitive to a fault.
Right.
He wants to know, like, he asks a lot of questions, but they're very, what's the surface level, like, and when he wants to get deep dive into things, he doesn't understand the things he's asking questions about, so it's harder for him to understand things. Because one of the criticisms I saw a lot for another Joe Rogan thing was with Robert Downey Jr. and how he was asking about how, like, could you make Tropic Thunder again today? And I don't know what Robert Downey Jr.'s thought process on it was, because I don't remember if he said they don't think they can make Tropic Thunder again today. But the context of Robert Downey Jr.'s character, Lazarus something, I don't remember his name, Kirk Lazarus. Somehow that's knowledge I have.
That's in the vault.
Yeah. Other than, what's my mom's birthday? I don't know.
Crickets. I asked him my birthday the other day.
November 19th.
Yeah, but
I said 17th.
You said 17th.
Yeah.
And I was
I remembered that I said 17th.
Hey, got that in the vault.
But, like, so he plays Kirk Lazarus, who's an actor who's, like, full of himself, who will go to no length to portray the character he will play, to the point where he gets a surgery that
dyes his skin.
Yeah, like, is permanent blackface, even though it comes off at the end of the movie.
I don't really
to be fair, at the end of the movie, he's also gone through a character arc where he's like, oh, I don't have to do this. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense that his skin is not
right
like that anymore. Right. But, like, so he asked him about that, and then, like, because there's a whole thing in comedy where it's like punching down is really easy, and isn't that like, it's not hard. Like, you can make fun of people in shittier positions than you, and it's not. Yeah. It's like, it's inherently like
it's a cheap shot.
Yeah, it's a cheap shot, and, like, Joe Rogan was trying to say, like, oh, here's two of my favorite jokes. They're punching down, quote unquote, and people are like, those aren't. He doesn't get that those aren't jokes that are punching down. Those jokes make fun of the situations that they're
right.
Like, he doesn't.
They're making fun of people punching down.
Yeah, his favorite jokes. He doesn't understand that they're not the thing he's trying to defend.
Yeah, I don't think he's as critical
he's also
of a thinker.
Probably smoking up every single time he does his podcast, which probably doesn't help
his critical, like, thinking ability.
Yeah, like, look, say what you will about weed, but I've seen your friends, I've seen a lot of people who smoke weed who are really interested in stuff and just not get it while they're high.
I mean, that's the joke, right? Like, that's a joke about people who are high, is that they think that they're getting really deep and profound when really they're just saying the most obvious surface level things.
Yeah.
And I think that and some of the problem too is not only does he give a platform to people who don't need a platform, and who certainly don't need him to elevate their platform or their ideas, but when those people show up and you're not actually critical with them, then not only are you giving them a platform, you are essentially becoming an advocate. You're endorsing it through your own ineptitude, because you don't have the thinking and the interrogation skills to get to the bottom of what's happening. You know, but there's a lot of people who really like Joe Rogan and who feel really disenfranchised by a sort of set of establishment politics that Joe Rogan sometimes plays into, but very often doesn't. Like, he has this very, like, he has a lot of ideas from what I've heard of people who listen to the podcast in particular.
I mean, he talks to a lot of people from, oh God, what's that guy's name? The fucking, oh damn it, I don't remember his name. He's one of the, like, more right-wingy dudes.
Is it Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk?
No, it's neither of them. It's another one.
They're garbage humans.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but God, it's really similar to a producer's name I know, like a music producer, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Anyway,
but like he talks to him a lot and like follows him and stuff. But like Joe Rogan's like recently been on record saying like he's like, I'm probably gonna vote for Bernie when it comes down to it.
But yeah, I mean, he endorsed him.
Yeah, like he specifically said like that. I don't even think on the episode Bernie was on, it was like a different episode.
Well, because he endorsed him even separate from Bernie being on his episode. Like he officially endorsed him, and all the Bernie Sanders social media people like retweeted it or whatever.
Because
people were really mad. And I'm like, well, first of all, establishment Democrats have been saying that Bernie is too far left and we need to grab people from the center since the start. So I don't understand why grabbing Joe Rogan.
Because that's not who we're talking about.
I'm like, you mean the young people who feel disenfranchised and need to be brought into the fold? Because we're
a bunch
never
of young white people.
Right.
Because
the idea that we're going to recreate the Obama coalition without actually getting people excited and incentivized to vote.
Yeah.
Like that was why the Obama coalition worked. It was like people from a lot of different sectors, but also people who were really energized to vote.
Yeah.
And if we can get a bunch of people who listen to the fucking Joe Rogan podcast because he's saying like, look, I've talked to this dude. There are even places where we disagree, but this guy is the most competent. This guy actually cares about what we have to say.
And he's also been the most consistent.
That was one thing he praised. He was like, you can look back years and the guy's been saying the same thing. Like, this is not opportunist. This is not a careerist politician who will say, and he's not like a Mayo Pete who's just going to say whatever will get him donors and get him elected. Like he's not bought and paid for by anybody. And that's a really big deal, particularly to people who feel alienated by the American political process, who feel like their values aren't being represented or like their vote doesn't matter or things going on in Washington are just going to happen whether they want them to or not. And honestly, they're not wrong in any of those assumptions. I think all of us often feel like our sort of pet issues, the things that are really important to us, are played with like toys. Like our lives are played with, like things like healthcare just get like they trot it out so that people can win elections, and then they get into office and they do nothing, or they do a small amount that maybe helps a little bit but doesn't actually help. Meanwhile, we're like, right, like I need my fucking medicine. Because
like Obamacare was like a big deal, but also if you didn't have it, you get penalized for it, which is,
and there were a lot of problems.
Like how that's like being like, oh, you'll get health care, but if you don't, we'll fuck you over more. It's not a system that helps people.
And like the thing is, Obamacare didn't weaken health insurance the way that it needed to. Because the problem is that health insurance drives up the cost.
Crazy as every person makes it out to be.
It was because they did so much compromising with Republicans and people weren't willing to like vocalize, look, you support this or we vote you out of office, period.
Well, wasn't he dealing with a Republican majority in Congress? So
he like had to make those compromises, and that's what happened. But the thing is, imagine if we had someone who was shooting way further. And so even if he's making compromises, because I don't think anyone in the Bernie camp is like delusional by thinking that every single thing that Bernie wants to do will get done in the first 100 days of presidency. Like that's not like rational or real, I think. I mean, it would be lovely. There's lots of great things that he's proposing that I would really support. Like, for example, Medicare for All, where like all of a sudden tomorrow you would wake up and everyone has health insurance. Everyone can just go to the doctor and they can just get the medicines that they need tomorrow. That would be incredible. That would literally save people's lives. And would measurably improve the entire American culture and society. So that, like, I would love to see on day one. That's not going to happen on day one. That's not even going to happen on day 100 probably. But if if there are compromises to be made, we're still going to get so much more. Like the problem, I think in a lot of ways, was that Obama was asking for something that a lot of people genuinely felt conflicted about. Like the penalty, if you don't get health insurance, was really difficult for a lot of people. But there were some parts of Obamacare, like getting rid of the idea of pre-existing conditions, that was like enormously, because it's a ridiculous thing.
You've been sick, you can't get insurance.
Like, oh, you have diabetes, well, that means that we can charge you like 5 times as much if we even accept you, whether you're in otherwise perfect health. Like that means that we don't have to cover your insulin, or that we don't have to cover you at all, even if you get into a car accident and that has nothing to fucking do with your diabetes. Or
we
treating
just deny
people
you
like
at any
they
point in time.
chose their health conditions. No one wakes up like, can't wait to get diabetes. Sure, can't wait till I get some cancer. Like no one's fucking doing that shit. So, can't wait until I have major depressive disorder. Yes. Like, I don't know. That's very weird. And getting rid of the idea of pre-existing conditions was hugely popular in a bipartisan way. And that was one way they were able to get it passed, is because people, even in a more conservative part of the country, were like, yeah, I mean, it's bullshit that I or my children or my dad, like that my like son who has autism, like can't get insurance because autism is a pre-existing condition.
I'm a coal miner in a city or small town that still does that. And even I don't think my tiny child, who suffers from black lung because I bring home myself covered in soot every day,
Jesus Christ,
can't get insurance.
It's just, so that was like hugely popular.
Sounds ridiculous, but also existed.
And those kinds of common sense reforms, you just have to build them as like, bro, this is fucking common sense. And that shit, literally got a lot of people healthcare that they had been denied or been going into bankruptcy paying for.
Yeah.
Like, as much as Obamacare, I think in some ways was like a big structural failure, in some ways because like a Republican controlled Congress could undermine it at every point.
Yeah.
It did measurably make things better for a lot of people in a lot of ways. Right. And in order to make more things like that happen, we have to be shooting further, and we have to be organizing more, and we have to be really getting down to the issues that make a difference for us. You know, like I actually am not interested in making sure that every person in America no longer holds any racist beliefs, because I don't think that that's a realistic goal. Yeah. And B, I don't need every person to not be racist in order for people of color to have rights and to have security, to have recourse, to have access. Yeah. Like, it would be nice. I would love that. If I could snap my fingers and make that happen, or even if I could put in some effort and make that happen, that would be wonderful. Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm actually more interested in prioritizing the needs of those people. And I'm not particularly interested in shitting all over a bunch of other people just because they like don't know what they're talking about. And instead saying, look, you know, do you like the air quality in the city of Pittsburgh? Me fucking neither. And the people who are making this air quality the way that it is are like 15 dudes in suits and our complicit ass mayor Peduto, who keeps saying that like the Green New Deal won't help us transition out of that and then we'll just lose a bunch of jobs, which is not true. There's like a whole bunch of shit about a just transition in the Green New Deal, and people are like, who's literally just read,
make all the things.
I'm like, literally just read, Bill. Just read the bill, Bill.
He's not. Well, that's not. He's not. He probably did read it, but he's not.
But it's like, in order to oust people like that, and he's a Democrat. Yeah. In order to oust people like that, we have to organize. Like, we have to get people together. And part of organizing is not hot takes. It's not spicy bullshit on Twitter, even though that shit is funny and I like that shit. Sometimes it gives me a giggle. But like, if
I've started to just roll my eyes at hot takes on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the articles that it's like such and such destroys Trump's tweet, blah da 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 da. I'm like, I don't
can't
care.
Even take that in anymore. I'm like, please just shut up.
I mean, it was kind of funny last night when everybody was making fun of the fact that our president doesn't know where the fuck Kansas City is.
Bro. But that's fine. He doesn't know where anything is.
Well, yeah.
He doesn't know where anything is.
He doesn't know where Kansas City is. He doesn't know how to spell words. Right. He can't speak.
It's like, it shouldn't even be a surprise anymore. Like,
it shouldn't, but every time.
Yeah, some new fresh.
It's a small gift that keeps on giving, knowing that our president might actually be having mental problems, and he's still just the president, and everybody's just balls deep on him on the right, like the farthest right side.
Yeah. Anyway, but organizing is hard. Yeah. Organizing requires you to have empathy for people you might not want to have empathy for. Mm-hmm. And that's like it's difficult. And I think it also requires you to actually get to the fundamental parts of what you're talking about. Like, because like I've said this about universalized healthcare since high school. When I took AP Gov in high school, I was like, and like Obamacare was becoming like a real conversation. People are like, well, I don't want the government to control my healthcare. I was like, I don't want young children to die because they can't go to the doctor. I don't want a single mom of 4 to die because she can't go to the doctor. I was like, that feels like a moral and an ethical imperative. Whether that's universalized healthcare, whether that's a tightly regulated insurance industry, I don't actually know enough to know what the perfect solution is. And in some ways, it could be multiple solutions. Yeah. But like, oh man, that leg. And that little snuggly face. I don't know what the perfect solution is, but what I'm not willing to do
is just let those people die.
Let people just die. Like, that's not interesting to me. And a lot of people were like, well, that's fair.
Yeah, it's easier to like make fun of someone who doesn't understand things than it is to be like, okay, why do you think that way?
And to like actually teach them. Yeah. And to listen with genuine interest.
Yeah, because like all those videos where it's like Trump supporters don't know anything, like I mean, I don't think it's that funny.
How many registered Democrats you could pick out of the roll who also intricately know the details of every policy, or even fucking know who their local senator is. I'm like, Americans in general don't fucking know what's going on, and the average person in general doesn't know what's going on. Yeah. Because we all have shit to do, and our lives don't revolve around politics, local or national or otherwise. Yeah. So, like, it's not really surprising when, like, average random people don't know that when some stranger walks up to them on the street, like,
with a microphone, it's like, what has President Trump actually done? And then they're like, oh, look how dumb you are.
Like, it doesn't. To me, that's just in bad faith. Like, they're not doing it because they want to have a genuine conversation. They're doing it to laugh at people. Yeah. And every once in a while, that shit is funny to me. And when people do real harm, I don't think we necessarily need to handle them with kid gloves. Yeah. But I think if you want to build a coalition, if you actually want people to get invested in what you're talking about, you don't have to compromise your beliefs at all. You don't. I don't feel like I compromise my beliefs when I just listen to people.
Yeah.
Because then I can then confidently put my beliefs into language that they're going to understand.
Yeah.
And say, like, here's what I think, and here's what's important to me, and here's the work I'm doing. Like, oh man. And it's like, would you like to also do that work with me?
Yeah.
And if they don't, you just say, all right, bye. Like, I'm going to move on to the next. I hope you have a good day. I've done it with union organizing. Like, that's just how it works. You just come up to people and you're like, where are you at? What do you need? What are your concerns? What are the things you like about where you're at? How do we make sure that we keep what we like and improve what's not serving us? And like, oh, you don't want to do this work? Totally fine.
All right. See ya.
Have a good one. Honestly, like, genuinely have a good one.
Yeah.
I'm like, no ill will. It's fine.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think people have a really hard time with that.
Well, yeah, it takes a certain sense of, I don't even know what the right word is, but like it just takes a certain mentality to be able to say, okay, you don't want to put in the work, or you don't agree with me and you don't want to learn. Okay, bye. Have a good day. And then walk away, instead of being like, you're a dumb asshole, and then just leaving.
Yeah. I mean, I think people really think I think some people do get genuine satisfaction, but to me, that's just like bullying. It's not really. And as a teacher, right? Like, I always bring it back to, if I talk to my students that way, I would be a fucking asshole and I'd be a terrible teacher. Yeah. Like, I have to come to them and be like, what do you think? How are you feeling? What's your idea behind this project? Yeah. And if their idea fucking blows, I can't be like, that's a dumb as fuck idea. No. I can't do that. That would just, it would defeat the purpose of saying anything.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be a good teacher. Because how is somebody going to learn from you after that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, people don't need to act that way. You can just be like, that's interesting. Have you thought about this? Or can you tell me a little more about that? Or I just want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So you're saying blah, blah, blah. And people really respond to that. Like, that sort of compassionate communication. Yeah. People respond to it in general. If you just want to like get people interested in what you're doing, that's just how you should speak to them.
And though I will say that working in retail makes me wish I could tell the dumb people to fuck off.
That's fair.
Just because I had one little incident with a lady where she told me to cut something. And I was like, you went to both pieces, right? And she said, yeah, but she had an attitude about it. And I turned around and I was like, fucking okay. Just because it's like, look, I have to ask enough people that they do want both pieces of something after it's cut, that there's no reason for you to get snippy with me, you fucking geriatric piece of shit. Well, and it's always old people. I swear to God, it's always old people.
I mean, some of that is just man artists, but also like, I mean, the teaching response to that, right, is like, you can't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you, probably. Like, when my students are kind of snippy with me,
in those instances, but when I'm serving you food, you better be careful.
Honestly, you should just be nice to people, period. Right? Oh, I mean, not you. I mean them. Like, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I was going to say.
People should just be fucking polite.
I complained about it with my back to her. And then turned around and was like, here you go. Have a nice day. Yeah. Because I can't do anything else.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. If my student sends me a snippy email, I just assume that if there's an issue with me, they'll either tell me or I won't, you know.
She was perfectly fine before I asked that question. That's the thing. But was she?
Yeah. Do perfectly fine people... Or is that like a veneer? Right?
I mean, it might have been, but she was she was pleasant up until I made sure she wanted both things, and then she was like, "Yeah," and then I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, some people are just.
You get pushed over, and every bone in your body would break. So fuck off. I'm sorry.
It's a little aggressive. I'm a little put off by that, but it's okay.
I told you I'm ageist. I'm on record.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You're going in. You're not holding back, are you?
Look, I've had to work with the general public often enough that it's just, it wears on you real fast when someone's an asshole for no reason.
I get it.
And like, I get that, what you're saying. It's like, it would be easier for me to be, I mean, I wasn't an actual asshole to them.
Right.
I was just like, you don't got to be rude to people that are doing something for you. I am performing a service and getting paid to do so for your benefit.
Yep.
What is the point of being rude to me?
And also, like, what does it hurt for you to just confirm? Like, how does that make her life harder? Like,
I don't know.
Understand.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Everybody just assumes that, like, oh, well, you're out to get me. I'm like, go to therapy and take a fucking chill pill. Like, if you just realize that people are not actually out to get you, like the dude cutting your fucking salmon is not out to get you.
If I was out to get you, I'd just throw my knife at you.
Right, like, Jesus, that's be so much easier, so much simpler, or just poison the fish, and then it doesn't fucking matter if it's poisoned in one piece or two pieces.
I just throw it on the ground, rub it, and then just be like, here you go. Well, I wouldn't whip my dick out. I'd go to prison. Sexual stuff.
I mean, you go to prison for poisoning someone, so.
Yeah, but it's different if I'm a sex offender.
You're like, I mean, a murder is fine, but a sex offender?
Look, they're treated differently in prison.
I guess so. I don't really know.
They are.
I don't know.
I've watched prison documentaries.
I don't know. I feel like people who say that have not been to prison.
I've watched enough prison documentaries.
Have you watched prison documentaries?
Oh,
you never
many.
watch documentaries with me, so I'm.
It's because my dad likes to watch a lot of those ones on National Geographic and History Channel.
He's such a strange man.
He likes to learn things from documentaries about prison inmates and other things.
Sometimes I think your dad wishes he were like in the military or like an
ex-con.
He
wanted to be in the military.
I think sometimes he wishes he were an ex-con.
I don't know, maybe.
In a weird way. Like it would give him some kind of status as like a tough guy.
Right. I mean, maybe, yeah.
Honestly,
his ego seems like that kind of thing.
I really hope he never listens to this.
Oof. He can't have. There's some jokes I've made.
Multiple ways to murder us. So.
Well, that's not where I'm coming from that part respect. It's just I've made jokes in expense of like, oh, my dad doesn't love me. I would have gotten a phone call.
Yeah,
at this
you
point.
would have gotten a phone call.
He'd be like, what the fuck?
Like, hey.
No,
fucking podcast.
No, so there was one time where I was texting Trent, or at least I thought I was, and I accidentally texted my dad. I was like, "Oh, all my stuff got here," because I was building my first computer, and I think my dad texted me "okay" or whatever because it was my dad, but I thought it was Trent, and I was like, "Oh, I thought you cared," because I'm being sarcastic to my
god
my best friend. And then I get a phone call. He's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I was like, "Wait, what?" And then he's like, "You were texting me." I was like, "Oh, I thought you were Trent. I was just fucking around." And I was so blown by. I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I'm just glad it was me being a sarcastic dick
and not being like, I don't know, anything more serious or important.
I don't know, penis pictures.
Right. I mean, you're not exactly one to send nudes, but I was just like, oh, it would be your luck that you would go to send a nude and it would go to your father.
Why did you send a picture of your dick to me? It's like, well, I'll never be able to speak to you again, Dad. Bye. That's it.
Just pretend you only have one son. Goodbye.
You have one son from here on out. Goodbye. Yep. I'm clipping my branch from the family tree right now.
And he'd be like, that's okay. I support that.
Yeah, but no. So I feel like I would have had a conversation already if that's the case.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're at now. I forgot where we were coming from. Either. But it got serious there, real political.
Yeah.
# cute boys for Bernie.
Hot boys for Bernie.
Oh, is it hot boys?
You're a hot boy for Bernie.
I feel like I'm just
if you're a boy and you're for Bernie, you're a hot boy for Bernie. Congratulations. I dubbed thee a hot boy for Bernie.
There you go. It's been dubbed.
You've been dubbed.
Not subbed, so.
Nope.
Unfortunate for you guys if you're
You've been
sub fans.
And dubbing it up.
It's a weird reference to make in this instance. So I don't know how many weebs listen to this. Anyway, this podcast has been more serious. I mean, we've had some funny bits.
Yeah. We like to sneak in some political analysis with our humor.
You like to sneak in some political analysis.
I do shoehorn it a little bit, don't I?
Yeah, you just steamroll through it.
I do. This is why you should not have me.
Title of this episode is Allie steamrolls through it.
Oh no, that makes it sound bad. Listen, comment and tell me that you don't like my political rants, and I'll stop.
I haven't gotten a single comment yet, so you fuckers.
The first comment is just about me. It's nothing to do with you and all the work you put into this. It's just me.
It's just like, I don't like the girl. It's like, well, you can get out.
Shit, me neither, bro. So.
God damn it. Well, anyway, this has been a Polishing Podcast episode.
Yeah, it has.
I'm going to try to get on the Patreon.
Let's see what happens.
Because who the fuck knows what's happening there. I guess I can try to log in on my other one and see if it breaks or not.
Yeah.
Because if it just lets me log in, then okay.
Well, there you go.
Wait. Oh, no. It's because I've liked 121 of Mog's things.
I was like what?
So I was able to log on to my personal Patreon because I made a page for the Polishing Podcast. Let's see, we got two-factor. Here we go with two-factor code. Inside all that it is, and it says I have to try again in half an hour. So unfortunately, I can think of a couple people off the top of my head.
Maybe I can try to fill in.
I know it's T-Rex, Cert, Achilles. There's two more.
Yo no sé.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think you'll just have to log in half an hour and put it in.
Or I could just listen to the end of an episode and say it.
Right now?
Yeah, we could. Or I could, I could just play the end of an episode.
Just grab a random one. That sounds perfect.
And just be like, here's the thank you part from the end of another episode. That'd be funny. God, who is it? Let's turn on this audio real quick.
But I'm very sleepy and I have work to do, so I'm gonna.
Well, then say goodbye.
I'm gonna say goodbye. That's what I was saying. I was gonna say goodbye.
Allie's saying goodbye.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say goodbye to Nem first. Goodbye, Nem.
She's so offended. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're so mad, but it's just me. It's just me. Bye-bye.
She's like, don't touch me.
Anyway, goodbye. Follow me on the tweeters or on Byte. I'm on Byte now. Woo! Mine too. I'm very excited about it. Maybe I'll make some content for the people. Probably not. Maybe we'll see.
Good Lord, you put your nose all the way on my finger. That was wild.
You're so gross with your nose, Nem. Anyway, goodbye. Okay,
that's been Allie.
That's been me.
I'm gonna try to figure out who the $5 tier supporters are because.
Well, wait, is there a way for me to see it on the Patreon? I probably can't see other people's.
Probably not.
Page. Okay. Anyway, okay, goodbye.
I just gotta look at this when I look at the thing.
Goodbye.
I love you too. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't sure if that was to me or the audience.
It was both.
Oh, okay.
I love you all. Goodbye.
And now a word from our sponsors.
T-Rex with a Shotgun, thank you so much for being patrons.
Oh, wait. I actually
hopefully-
just picked the right spot. I said thank you for being patrons, so I just got to go back a couple seconds. Look at me.
Hopefully there are no titties on my timeline.
Titties on the timeline.
And yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We're going to do the little Patreon shout-outs for the $5 tier.
We'll get to it then, Nicco.
That is Achilles, Patrick, Cert, Quinn, and T-Rex with a Shotgun. Thank you so much.
So now, present timeline, Nicco will say thank you to Achilles, Patrick, Cert, Achilles, and T-Rex with a shotgun. Wait, did I do that right or did I do it wrong? 10 seconds.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. We're going to do the little Patreon shout-outs.
Get to it.
Tier. That is Achilles, Patrick, Cert, Quinn, and T-Rex with a shotgun.
I feel like I didn't say Quinn. But yeah, thank you, Quinn. Jesus. Thank you, Quinn, Cert, Achilles, Patrick, and T-Rex with a shotgun for being patrons. I appreciate you guys a lot. Or gals. Or people. I'll just say people. I appreciate you all. There we go. We'll just do the southern thing. Appreciate y'all a lot. And thank you so much for being supporters of the podcast and helping me pay for the hosting on podbean.com/thepolishingpodcast, which is another place where you can listen to the podcast for free. Every other place to listen to the podcast is free. If you did not know that, that's Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Podbean. You can find it by typing The Polishing Podcast. Pretty easy. And if you're wondering on the spelling, that's ThePolishingPodcast. And yeah, I'm Nicco, otherwise known as Nicco All Powerful, and all things that matter to me, which is Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. That's NICCO ALLPOWERFUL on Twitter and Twitch, and on YouTube it is NICO ALLPOWERFUL. Yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Hope you like the more serious conversations, and if you don't, let us know and we'll try to keep it more lighthearted so that way you don't have to worry about it anymore, because if you guys don't listen, then what the fuck's the point? But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good rest of your day and or morning, evening, whenever you listen. But yeah, peace.